I don't even know how to introduce this absolute magnificent talent. I mean, Saurabh Sachdeva, sir, huge congratulations on such a wonderful year. You had Jaane Jaan earlier, and now you've had Animal, two wonderful titles on different platforms. So first, thank you so much for joining me, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anuj, for inviting me to this talk with you. And I was very excited. Uh, looking forward. Ki how what you going to ask? How we going to go about it? So
Right. Well, look, I think let's just jump straight into it. I mean, I want to begin with Janeja because that role, I mean, even in Animal as well, to be honest, both the roles that you have, बहुत कम dialogues है उसमें है dialogues, but yet the presence, your aura that's there, इतना भारी भरकम है, and they're both very dark characters in essence. How
yeah,
does one sort of go about playing characters like these, which have very minimal words, but yet have to really showcase their expressions, through their expressions.
yeah. I feel cinema is not very. It's visual medium also. So I'm not. I never have a problem because theater is more verbose and cinema is more visual. So if an actor can, lot of actors I've heard in their life that they cut out a lot of dialogues because they believe that I can show this. So why do I have to say it? So there is a saying that if you can show it, don't say it. So for me, the problem is never the dialogues. Uh, I never had those problems, and I only see if there are few good scenes in the project where I have meaty scene in a way. And if I don't get a uh, like I'm not there for a long time in the script, but there are few meaty 3 to 4 meaty scene, then I'm on with it. And if I like the subject, then I'm on with it. So that's not a problem with me. uh, how do I go about these kind of roles is it becomes quite difficult for me sometimes, though antagonists are always very juicy roles because they have a lot to do in the film. But sorry, yes, antagonist. And then how do I go? It becomes difficult sometimes morally.
Mm.
In Animal, it wasn't that difficult for me to. It was difficult to find the right character to be in the right setting, but the setting was so big and the film was had a style also. So so I was that was the difficulty ki how to fit yourself in that kind of look and that style and a body language. But Jaane Jaan was quite a difficult for me because that's not my morals also, my values also. And taking away, not taking away completely, but keeping your morals and values aside and playing with these morals, which are
Mm.
characters, their values become sometime challenging, but that's the challenge an actor goes through. And you have to, when you let go of your morals or you say, okay, I don't have to use this, then the body doesn't respond well. It uh, quite a difficult thing happens in my body. I think a lot of actors might go through this when they have to play this kind of character. So,
Mm.
so that was the thing. I was struggling with that when we were working. I was working with my team on the character and working on the scene. So, and I was working with the uh, women in my group, those
Mm.
who work with me. So I wanted to get comfortable ki how I can bring this character alive, and it was difficult for me. And then working with the definitely, then you have to go on set and you have to work with Karina. She's such a big star, and then then you have your own inhibition, how to reach out to her, how to talk to her, how to uh, but somehow your sense of your actor comes, human gets silent, your actor stands strongly and it says, this is your job, you have to go
Sure.
ahead and meet her and talk to her, and also take her permission that how much she's comfortable with, and or not. And when I
Hmm.
did that, and she was, within few seconds she was very comfortable, and she told me that, go ahead, Saurabh, we have to make the scene. The scene has to work. If uh, that's how it is, you have to come close to me, you have to come close to me. So yeah, so it's a lot of things. Your preparation, talking to yourself that these are not my values, keeping that on side,
Hmm.
uh, and then also meeting your actor on set and
Sure.
relating to her and understanding her personality.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to Animal, there's been a lot of conversation about the film. And I think also both the characters, like you said, they are very morally and ethically gray. Well, dark actually, if I can rightly say so. But when it comes to a role like Animal, for example, and a film like that, because I think the moment you sign a Sandeep Reddy Vanga film, one comes prepared for the amount of dialogues that are about to take place on social media, on, the societal conversations. So I think when it comes to critique, perhaps, I mean, of course, I mean, आपको बहुत तारीफें मिली है, of course, आपके रोल के लिए, but उसके साथ साथ जो backlash थोड़ा बहुत हुआ है, how does an actor necessarily deal with that? Because, see, at that point, when you're going on set, you're there to do your job, as you rightly said, right? So how does one necessarily get into that mind space to actually, A, get into that dark zone, and B, deal with the repercussions of that?
Uh, I've never faced that yet. So I'm still naive and new to this. Uh, Nobody has come to me or asked me about it. And though when I was doing the story, I only knew the part where I'm playing Bobby's brother, and and I'm his voice. So I was working on that majorly, to become his voice and to be so connected to my co-actor Bobby that he's my life. I will give everything for him, right, to protect him. So that's what I kept in my mind. Uh, the When I saw the film, then I only knew that, oh, there is more to this world. Uh, so yeah. So I also believe that when you do these kind of characters, you also show your protagonist as in a stronger light and a good light. If your antagonist is not strong and doesn't give that power, then the protagonist also doesn't shine out. So that's my job as an actor. कि मेरे को character को I have to study the character so well. Study means what happened in his childhood that he became like this. And he really believes in it. And he can advocate about his character. I can advocate about my character why what he was doing was right.
Hmm.
Right. I have to reach to that point. Otherwise, I'm going to be again struggling with my morals and his morals and all. So
Hmm.
I take the character and I see why what he's doing is right for him in that moment, right? So finding that is very important. Like I was reading, I would want to give you this example. I was reading this book called Story by Robert McKee, and he says in that book there was an he says that no human being take a wrong decision in any given circumstances. Like for example, if somebody asks me, Ki, these are two thing you have to decide one. I will decide I would decide I will go with the thing which is good for me. And similarly, you will do the same thing. And we all will do the same thing. If I have two things which are bad, then I will decide जो कम bad है, जो
Hmm.
उतना ज्यादा नहीं है. So that is how human mind works. So when the antagonist is doing whatever he is doing, there is another thing sitting there which is worst or bad for him
Hmm.
than this one.
Right.
So I decide which what is that thing. Why will he go for this and not for this? Because there is another thing which is sitting very bad. The pain of that he can't take, so he will go for this. So that is how I try to prepare my character.
Hmm.
And I never knew कि इतना backlash होगा इस फिल्म के बारे में या इतनी ऐसी बातें भी होंगी, but people are enjoying it also, and yeah, it's बहुत लोग बात कर रहे हैं, positively be, negatively be. That's fine. A film can generate that kind of feeling, and everyone will not like everything we do. A lot
And
of
as
film I don't like, but people like it.
Sure. And as
Yeah.
I've always said, the art has many purposes, and one of those purposes can also be to revolt. या आपको घिन आती है या आपको मतलब आपको ताज्जुब भी होती है उसको देख के. So I think that it's very subjective, isn't it? And I think that's what the beauty of this really is. I would love to know a bit more about Animal because there's so much layers that your character has. I mean, even though like I said, your part might be screen time challenged, but yet the impact that you and Bobby both have is incredible. I mean, even if we look in cinema history, I think what Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs had 20 minutes, I think, apart generally. But look at the impact that he's had. So again, it just goes to show what great acting can do when you're shooting violence, I think that is something which I am very keen on knowing because obviously one comes prepared. Script आपने पढ़ी है, आपने अपना पूरा तैयारी की है. लेकिन जब set पे आती है और violence पे आती है, because I feel like it takes a certain nuance to shoot this to come across as convincing, but yet also not as aggressive as well because you can actually genuinely get hurt. So, what is this sort of balance that requires when you are shooting a violent sequence?
There are uh, action directors who work with us, and they are good in their work, and they design the scene well. Then obviously an actor has to put the emotional life into it, and also expression and behavior and all that comes. But but an action director mechanically or sometime very emotionally shows that how the scene should go and how this punch and that punch, and then there are many angles and shooting happens, and on the edit it looks like wow, the power of the scene comes together, and audience enjoys it. So yeah, that's I think that's your question. How do you shoot it? How do
Yeah.
you bring? Yeah, yeah. So it's sometimes it's difficult because sometimes you physically have to be like now. I'm shooting a film. I have to do an action sequence, or in Animal, I didn't do any action though. So only Bobby and Ranveer was doing it, and Bobby sir को भी एक दो बार shoulder dislocate हुआ या problem हुआ, pain हुआ. Then there was people who were taking care of him. Uh, Somebody was massaging him, bringing his shoulder back, and then he was doing that. Those difficulties happens on the set. Those
Mm,
problems come up with the actor. Actor need to be more athletic to do these kind of things, I believe, physically. And these two worked hard on their body, and you can see their bodies are they were fit with their moves and everything. So
mm,
when I was on the set, I really liked the way they were looking and the way they were moving. ऐसा लग रहा था इन्होंने सोचा है इस बारे में काम किया है और ये लोग fit हैं to do this. Look at what's age. Bobby sir must be 50 plus, and look the agility and the confidence he was showing with his all the action.
oh, he
Yeah,
was exceptional. Honestly,
yeah.
you both really were exceptional. Honestly, like one thing that I have to say though about your work, sort of. So, I mean, I think for me, one of my uh I would say highlights actually, or that really, brought perhaps my attention to you. I mean, even though you've been working in this industry for many years, is Good Luck Jerry. And I think the way, even in that film, the way you brought this sense of quirkiness to a villainous character, even यहाँ पर भी, जब भी वो अपनी होने वाली भाभी के साथ बात करता है, like the moment, Abid appears on screen in Animal, it gave me a spine-chilling moment. I don't know why. There's a certain menace you brought to this role. मुझे ये बताइए ये menace कहाँ से आती है? Where do you manage to find this whole quirkiness and this whole menacing sort of impact in your performances?
I think that also is about my looks. I feel that I have intimidating features. I have a strong voice, or my eyes are big, and all that is there. But I'm not a person. I'm a very humble and soft-spoken person in my life. So it's, but people cast me for those kind of character. That's now they are seeing different side also, because they can see that lot he can do. Like in Animal only, I'm from that menacing human being to crying for his brother. And at the end, the fear of what Ranbir was doing, the fear was there, and unsurety of how do I deal with this man now. So it was all there. So there were many aspects to that. And there was love for his brother where I'm dancing with him. And
Yeah.
there was a guilt when the brother knows that our younger brother is. So all that was there. So there were many aspects to it. And yeah, that is the requirement of the character also now, because we have to see the characters are so strong, and they can they can do whatever they want. So I was just warning her that uh, you are welcome to the house, but don't take away my relationship with my brother,
Hmm.
because I am his voice. So I'm bringing you down. I'm helping you. I'm happy that he's getting married to you. But
Hmm.
yeah. But there is certain level of understanding that I am taking care of him from the when the grandfather died. So I'm there.
Yeah, like you said as well, it's about studying that character and making those
Yeah,
decisions to really
yeah.
guide you through the process, right? Uh, I, I think again, Sandeep Reddy Vanga, I mean, this man is a sheer genius. I mean, the way he does his films, I mean, it's honestly, it's a marvel to look at as a movie if you look at it from that cinema perspective. What was his perhaps guidance towards you? And what was perhaps the briefs that he gave to you, before you started shooting with him?
Yeah, when he called me to his office, and I was sitting there, and I he was narrating me the story. I couldn't understand what is the character. Honestly, I was struggling with it in my head, and then I went again to I asked him, "Can I come again and meet you, and let's discuss the character again?" And he says yes. And then I met him again, and I said, "I'm not able to understand what kind of world you want to create." So
Hmm.
he said, I saw you in Dash.
Wow.
So there is where मेरे को लगा कि you can do this character well. So so मैंने बोला, but I'm still not able to understand, is it the similar kind of world which we had in Dash or Sacred Games, or what kind of world? So he said, I'll show you something, and he showed me few scenes of on edit. Uh, edit was going on, and that fight sequence in the corridor where all are wearing helmet. And I'm like, what? What world we are getting into? What is this? Oh my god. And from there I started understanding that it's going to be larger than life. It's not going to be life. It's not going to be life. It's bigger than that. It's a very cinematically very uh, big. So I started preparing for that. And then I met him again, and he was always answering whatever he was also making me listen to the music जो था उनके पास, फाइट वाला म्यूजिक
Ah,
और बाकी music. So he was talking to me. He was also asking me, how do you like the music? And I was like, I didn't know how it's all going to fit. That's a different music. This is a Punjabi music, then other music. How it's all going to fit? It was his vision. I just surrendered to his vision. I thought that I will just do my job, and I know he's done in the past, and
Mm.
he will create something. So I just trusted him. And I do mostly trust my directors, because ultimately they are the captain of the ship. uh, I do bring my stuff, 10 options of my own, but if they say no, this is not working, then I am ready to change, and I'm ready to work from their vision also.
Right.
Though I do try to align myself with them, uh, but ultimately they are going through the script from last many years sometimes,
Mm.
and sometimes the director is the writer of the script, so he knows more than, and he can see all the character, and he can see the arc of it, and he can see the look of it, and the music and everything. So actor can't see all that. जब
तो
तक कि- yeah,
नो
yeah.
एब्सोल्युटली, बहुत बहुत अच्छी बात कही आपने। और आपकी जर्नी को मद्दे नजर रखते हुए ये काफी आयरॉनिक बात हो चुकी है, आपने बहुत सारे एक्टर्स को ट्रेन किया है जो अब एक्चुअली एस्टैब्लिश्ड, आई डोंट वांट टू यूज द वर्ड स्टार्स, बट आई मीन दे हैव बिकम एस्टैब्लिश्ड नेम्स इन द इंडस्ट्री नाउ। Ironically, I think you also trained Tripti Dimri as
Yes,
well, right?
yes, yes.
And she's also in this film, which is quite
Yeah,
ironic.
yeah,
Freida Pinto, you've trained Varun, you've done Rana Daggubati. I mean, these are huge names now.
yeah.
When you began as an acting coach, back in what, like back so many years you've been an acting coach. Why did you decide to really give credence to this path and not actually pursue perhaps more film and acting roles? What was your main driving point at that point in time?
It was very funny. I keep talking about this in every interview, that there was this. I never wanted to be an actor. That's not what I was looking forward to. I was lost, like most of a lot of people after their schooling and college. They get what to do in life, what to do. That was happening, and I had this one woman I used to like, and I wanted to be with her, and want to get married to her, and she didn't want it because she was from a rich background, and so I thought,
Oh,
फटाफट क्या कर किससे जल्दी से rich बना जा सकता है, तो let's do acting. I tried a few businesses which didn't work, and then let's do acting, and I got into acting. That also happened that I landed to Mr. Barry John, who was a renowned name, but I didn't knew about him. So मैंने उनके साथ काम शुरू किया, and within few days I realized that uh, it's not about being famous or getting money immediately, but to express myself. And that was the need which came strongly, that I want to express myself because I'm dyslexic. So that was the struggle in my schooling. My
mm,
education was a very big struggle. And with Mr. Barry, I really opened up, and I was becoming freer and expressive of myself. And I started working on movement and dance drama and all those things. And from there, one day, after a year or so, I was doing theater with him also. And then he asked me, "Will you want to teach?" And that became, uh, I never I liked my teacher, and it's very big responsibility to be a teacher.
mm,
And I said no pehle to, and then few of my friends said, "Go ahead. If he's asking you, he must have seen something in you." And then I said, "Okay, I'll do it for a few days. If that works, then," he said, "Okay, fine." And I enjoyed it so much that I'm teaching from last 22 years now.
it's
And
incredible.
yeah, and it was I would say, if अगर मेरे को एक्टिंग नहीं, अगर मैं डांस से भी अपने आप को एक्सप्लोर कर रहा होता, सम कोई टीचर मुझे ऐसा मिलता है जो मुझे डांस से वो सब चीजें करने को बोलता है, या पेंटिंग से करने को बोलता है, या किसी और आर्ट से बोलता, तो मैं उसमें चला जाता. इट
Hmm.
वाजंट this is the thing for me. It became the thing because I was continuously exploring and freeing myself and expressing myself. So, and finding new aspect of myself, and the world started opening up for me. So, so from there, my journey started to, and like now it's almost 23 years, but I love this work and I enjoy this, and every day explore myself and teach. So that is how it started. Though I didn't have the courage to come out in the industry and face people. That is why I couldn't be in front of camera.
Oh,
Once
okay.
Anurag Kashyap was Anurag sir was asking. He was saying कि तूने इतना लेट क्यों शुरू किया? मैं बोला मेरे पास करेज ही नहीं था शुरू करने के लिए. He said, such a talented actor you are. Look at your eyes, look at your voice, look at your way you express yourself. And but why did you start so late? I said, because I didn't have the courage to meet people, to come out and to talk. Like you asking me, कैसे बात करूंगा, क्या बोलूंगा, सही.
Hmm.
So much was. Sometimes you have it, but it's your self esteem is not that.
I can understand. Honestly, I can understand this because even मेरी जिंदगी में एक्चुअली ऐसा हुआ है कि जब भी मैं बोलता हूँ मुझे बहुत सोच समझ के बोलना पड़ता है बिकॉज आपका सेल्फ एस्टीम जब लो हो ना आप खुद में कंफ्यूज हो जाते हो कि क्या मैं सही बोल रहा हूँ क्या मैं गलत
Yeah,
बोल रहा हूँ सो आई रियली ऑनेस्टली रिलेट विद दिस अब बट
yeah.
व्हाट वुड यू से आपकी जिंदगी में वो कौन सा मोमेंट था या फैक्टर था कि जब आपको थोड़ा सा वो इंकरेजमेंट मिला कैमरा के सामने जाने का
Yeah, I did few courses in 2014, which really moved me. They were not just the acting courses. There was some other courses which were really moving me. Landmark was one of the course, and it really moved me from inside. And then I thought in 2016 I should move out and uh, start directing films. And I moved out, and in 2017 I wanted to write and direct, and but I didn't have the money. So one of my student, Abhash, he said ki why not you also teach to earn some money. And then I said, who's going to come for me?
Hmm.
People used to come for Barry John. Who will come for me? He said, you don't know about yourself. Come. And I started doing that, and there were students like, wow. I was like, wow. I, like I'm famous as a teacher. And in 2017 only, then I started my school, and the direction I couldn't direct because I didn't get the time. Then I was directing plays again, and then I got the offer to audition for Sacred Games.
Hmm.
And from there, my journey started, and I was selected for this character, Isa, by Anurag sir. And my journey started from there, back to back. Yeah.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is, Saurabh sir, I actually have a friend, Vishnu Krishnan, who is an up and coming actor, and he's done some amazing work. उसने एक short film किया है और एक feature film किया है, multiple languages, man. He's trained with you. And I think the beautiful thing that he's told me as well is that आपके जो nuances है as an artist, you are someone who really has understood the art, and you're not someone who is driven in making stars. Because I feel like what has happened, especially in the last few years, perhaps due to the influx of social media, uh, not to obviously, put it down, but we're seeing more influencer culture coming across where by 2 मिनट के रील्स में बस कुछ एक्सप्रेशंस डाल के आप लोग अपने आप को एक्टर समझने लगे बट एक्चुअली पूरा क्राफ्ट जाता है और आप की जो बातें सुन के मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि you really genuinely have dedicated your life to this art. But how does it make you feel in this era where there's so much hoo-ha based on very minimal effort to do with the art? Does it make you feel a little frustrated sometimes when you see
No,
this?
no, never, never. I feel we human beings keep doing this to whenever things are changing or something new coming up. We want to just save our own thing that we are the best. No, that's not the. I feel the change is consistent and it's inevitable. It's going to happen. You can't stop that, right? And things will people will come. Definitely, what they can do in those few seconds, a lot of actors can't do it. Great actors can't do it. They can't bring audience immediately, hold audience and bring them in. They also work hard on that.
True.
Though that's not the medium I am in, and I don't train for that. My medium is something else. Like, I don't train physical theater. I don't do physical acting. I do realistic acting. I train in realistic acting for camera, right, or theater, but it has to be realistic. There are other kind of acting. I can't say they are bad. So, like, there is an opera singing and there is the other singing also, and so things, there are many things which opens up, and something you will like, you will not like. Something are good for others, some things are not good for other, but it never affects me. आई एम वेरी क्लियर, एंड मेरे उस चीज के लिए ब्लिंकर्स लगे हुए हैं कि मैं एक्टिंग सिखाता हूँ और मैं रियलिज्म में काम करता हूँ, और स्टूडेंट को भी वही काम करवाता हूँ. मुझे वो वीडियोस बनाने नहीं आते और ना मैं उसकी कोई ट्रेनिंग देता हूँ.
जी.
जिस जिस तरीके से मुझे और तरह की कोई आर्ट नहीं आती है, तो अगर वो कई लोगों को नहीं लगती आर्ट, फाइन. आई ऑल्सो फील कि बहुत जल्दी उनके पास बहुत सारे लोग आ रहे हैं, बट आई फील उसमें भी बहुत स्ट्रगल है. इट्स every day they have to be on toes to and toes to work on what they want to sell. Otherwise, they will be out of market. Uh, so my point is, without getting into all this, ye kharab hai, ye kharab hai, I just focus on how can I improve my education? How can I improve myself? What is my way of being? What is my direction? I just focus on that. I don't I I don't get bothered by that, and I don't.
Hmm.
Uh, I ask my student not to get bothered about it. It's going to be happening. अगर तुम उसमें रहोगे कि और इसी कंपटीशन में रहोगे तो बर्बाद हो जाओगे. सारा
Hmm.
टाइम दिमाग इसी में लग जाएगा. Then working on your craft, then working on yourself, then working on your yeah. So there is no right or wrong about
Oh,
it.
beautifully, very beautifully said, very beautifully said.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but I think again as well, sir, because like you mentioned, and I think what I've sort of learned about you as well in this conversation is that you are someone who is very grounded. You've obviously have had inner in your inhibitions as well. In throughout this process and whilst you were growing as an artist. But मैंने काफी बार नोटिस किया है, खास करके एक्टर्स में, कि जब थोड़ा सा फेम मिल जाता है उनको, once they've kind of, let's just say, they've done broke through and they started to get a lot more popularity. I feel that has really tainted them and their vulnerability as an artist, because मेरे हिसाब से vulnerability बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी होता है कोई भी क्रिएटिव इंडस्ट्री में, है ना? um, तो आपके लिए वो जो एक vulnerability है, वो जो एक एरोगेंस ऑफ कोर्स नहीं कहूंगा, बट जब आप पॉपुलैरिटी को बहुत ज्यादा प्राप्त करते हो, देन इट गेट्स टू योर हेड, राइट? सो हाउ हैव यू perhaps prepared yourself and kept that vulnerability intact as an artist?
I think because I got it very late also in my life. I was not very young कि मेरे को उतनी समझ ही नहीं थी. I had the understanding. I still have the understanding of it, and also I am I'm teaching from last so many years, so students have always liked me and given me that appreciation and that love, which a lot of people don't get, and they suddenly get it and they don't know how to handle it,
Hmm.
right? I have got that from many years, that love and that appreciation and praises for my teaching also. So when I got this, अभी जब मुझे थोड़ा सा फेम मिलने लगा है, तो मुझ पे ज्यादा वो चढ़ नहीं रहा है. मेरे को ज्यादा ऐसा नहीं हो रहा है. मतलब दिस इज नॉट व्हाट यू डोंट नो इफ अगर हो भी रहा हो तो, बट पीपल अराउंड मी talk
Yeah.
about it. This you're very calm, you're very down to earth, and it doesn't seem like because my craft. And I tell you one thing. Uh, uh, when you get it, like for example, I film get released and it's appreciated, and your work is appreciated. That is not, that doesn't give me too much happiness. Then the process itself,
Sure. Okay.
the process itself of finding myself and trying to do something new, when it happens, it's like, oh, ho gaya, okay, got it, yeah, थोड़ी देर का होता है फिर वो चला जाता है. But the process itself is so evolving and it's so rewarding inside. Oh, I got this, I cracked this character. Something happened. In the moment, there was something which was so beautifully happened with my co-actor. We were living.
Hmm.
Um, we were not doing, it was doing us. The scene was making us. So when that process happens, then you feel like, ah, and when you're done with that scene, you feel, oh, आज कुछ हुआ है.
जी.
That is more rewarding, I'm telling you. That's more rewarding for any uh, and then if your film works well, your performances, it's good. uh, but I still feel मेरे लिए वो journey बहुत rewarding होती है.
जी. And I think because आप ये ने कहा कि आप एक accidental actor थे, right? Like, I mean, because
Yeah,
unintentional actor थे. I think that's the right
yeah,
word
yeah,
perhaps
yeah,
to use.
yeah.
Uh, do you feel like that's why perhaps, because, इस industry में काफी इंतजार बहुत होता है. That's one thing that I have observed from close friends as well as, doing interviews with actors themselves. इंतजार बहुत होता है. But क्योंकि आप obviously अपने acting coaching में व्यस्त थे और theater में काफी busy थे, do you think that's perhaps what has really helped you to rise beyond that agony of waiting for that big break or being that वो जो तलब होती है discover होने की? Do you think that's what's really helped you? Is the fact that
Yes,
you're putting it
yes,
behind?
that really helped me. And I've also seen people doing that, but they're still not satisfied. You have to be in the love for what you're doing, and the passion has to be there, love has to be there, because a lot of thing has happened in 22 years also, where my emotions have taken me somewhere else, my health has taken me somewhere else, and then also I don't give up, because I believe that my work makes me, and it brings me back to my being, and I start excelling, or I start improving as a person. So I keep getting back to it. That is my occurring for my work. So मैं वो बार बार वापस आता जाता हूँ वहां पर. तो
Mhm.
बहुत सारे वो भी लोग नहीं करते हैं. तो मेरे को इतना मजा आ रहा था शुरू में, जब भी मेरे से कई बार आजकल लोग पूछते हैं कि टेल मी अबाउट योर स्ट्रगल. आई हैड नो स्ट्रगल. I had no struggle. They don't believe that. I said, I'm 23 years. I've enjoyed my work so much. और चीजों में मेरी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, मेरे रिलेशनशिप में प्रॉब्लम रही है, मेरी हेल्थ में प्रॉब्लम रही है, पर वो काम में मैंने कोई स्ट्रगल किया ही नहीं. मतलब मैंने नहीं 10 रुपए में रोड पे सोया हूँ या बाहर बैठा हूँ. मैं हमेशा से टीचिंग करता रहा, और उससे मेरे को जितना पैसा मिलता था उससे मैं काफी खुश था उस टाइम पे. एंड I was always enjoying that. I've always enjoyed that. Yeah.
It's almost like when people ask you for your struggle, because obviously suddenly you're an unconventional, like you've mentioned as well. आपके features काफी unconventional है because you don't follow that stereotype of a Hindi film hero or an actor. It's almost like people want to glorify difficulty. It's almost like they're trying to look for that big underdog story.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
in their lives, everyone is going through so much in their own lives. It's like आपके आपके जरिए वो एक अंडरडॉग स्टोरी जो सिस्टम को बीट करती है या वो सब कुछ वो ढूंढ रहे होते हैं. क्या आपको
True,
कभी
true.
कभी ऐसा लगता है?
ट्रू, ये बात है कि वो तो मजा आता है कि देखो ये इंसान कितना स्ट्रगल करके वहां तक पहुंचा है. Or not that I was having a lot of money or a lot of support from people around, but if that's the struggle, ठीक है, वो वाली स्ट्रगल थी कि लोगों का ज्यादा सपोर्ट नहीं था, पैसे नहीं थे, पर वो इतना इन्वॉल्व था मैं टीचिंग में कि, और डायरेक्टिंग प्लेस में कि, और एक्टिंग में, कि हम बैरी सर के साथ, मैं सुबह I used to reach at 8:30 at the studio. Till 5:36 I used to take the class alone a lot of time. And then 6 to 9 or 9:30 I used to do theater with him, Mr. Barry. Right? So that was my routine. तो टाइम ही नहीं था किसी और चीज को सोचने का. और
हम्म.
सारा दिन अपना काम हो रहा था, इतनी सारी चीजें हो रही थी, तो कोई टाइम नहीं था मेरे लिए. तो मुझे तो बहुत मजा आ रहा था. expressing myself, being myself. तो बहुत मजा आ रहा था. So मेरे लिए वो कभी हुआ नहीं. Yes, you're right. मेरे लिए I हाँ.
बिल्कुल. तो I know you've got another interview lined up, so I'm gonna sort of ask this finalish question because आपने बहुत ही ज्यादा बढ़िया काम किया है. I think in terms of in front of the camera, I think पर्दे के पीछे बहुत बहुत सालों की कहानियां हैं आपके पास. But uh, now that you're kind of on the cusp of getting discovered and so to speak, and sort of getting that sort of that love that's coming towards you now. What would you say is a role that you are very keen in exploring because you've gone to the dark side? What's next for you now to explore?
Um, I'm doing few projects where I'm playing the other kind of character, timid character also.
Oh,
Very timid, yeah. There's another film which is coming next month where I'm playing a very timid character. So that's another thing. Then I would love to play a good romantic drama. Would
oh,
love to explore that because I have a that side of me personality, and I'm a very vulnerable human being. I get moved in small things. So want to play yeah, some romantic drama comedy also. I've tried and it worked in a way. In Man Marziyan also there was
oh yeah.
a tinge of comedy and people liked it, and Good Luck Jerry was there. So there is things which I have. So I would love to play a romantic character. Definitely, I'm waiting for that. Few scripts have come up, but
Huh.
अभी तक वो नहीं हुआ कि this is what I want to do, or
Geez.
this is yeah. Recently there is a very beautiful script which has come up, young with a young director he wants to make, and I'm really wanting to do that. Let's see
Huh.
how it. Yeah.
And that's the beauty. Then this is exactly the beauty I was speaking about vulnerability. Because see, it can push you either side. आप एक soft general character भी play कर सकते हो और काफी भयानक role भी कर
Yeah,
सकते हो.
yeah,
है
yeah,
ना?
yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's wonderful. Absolutely
yeah.
wonderful. But thank you so much, Saurabh, sir, for taking the time out to speak with me. It's been honestly such a pleasure to have, artists like yourselves grace our platform, really, because हमें भी काफी कुछ सीखने को मिलता है. और I think आपकी जो journey है, बहुत inspiring है. And I think going forward, I think we're definitely going to be looking at your roles with a lot more awe as well, especially now that we've learned so much about you. So thank you so much for coming on our platform. It really means a lot to us.
Thank you, Anuj. Thank you for uh, calling me and asking me to do this. I'm really uh, grateful to you. And you are a very lovely person, and you're asking question with all the ease and all the, you're not like pushing, pressurizing, and you're really there, and you're really in the listening. You're listening to me, which is very good. Sometimes people just ask questions, they don't listen, and I'm like, are you listening? Excuse me.
नहीं
Yes,
नहीं नहीं आप
you're on your next one. So
no
you were
आप
listening and you were there for me. Thank you for that. Thank you.
thank you sir. Well, hopefully first of many going in the future for sure.
Sure, sure.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Thank you. Bye bye.
you.